Hey, everybody. Todd Jeffries here, along with Patrick Osborne. He's filling in for Don in our tech news segment here for Texas Mutual Insurance. And coming up, a woman files a lawsuit against Tesla because her 2-year-old ran her over. Yeah, we'll explain the details. And the death of brick and mortar stores, has it been greatly exaggerated? And also, coming up, what does your iPhone do at night when you're sleeping? We'll tell you about it. Hey, everybody. Todd Jeffries here. Patrick Osborne, you know him from Austin's Morning News on our show in the mornings on Todd and Don. Don is out today. He's a little under the weather, but Patrick has stepped in with us here today. We're so glad you chose to join us. Thanks to Texas Mutual Insurance Company. If you own a business, small, medium, or large, you should know. You should have a relationship with Texas Mutual Insurance Company. We have links on this video so that you can find them as well if you have any questions. So let's get started. Interesting story today about a Santa Barbara woman. She's filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Tesla, claiming that there's a design flaw in her 2018 Model X that nearly got her killed. Yeah, papers filed in Orange County say Mallory Harcourt was in her Model X only 3 days old whenever she was unloading her groceries. And this happened back in December. And she was walking to the front of her vehicle, and somehow her 2-year-old son climbed into the driver's seat and started the car and accelerated, ran her over. She's 31 years old and 8 months pregnant as well. She was lifted into the air, slammed into her garage. She was pinned by that vehicle inside the garage. She suffered a cracked pelvis in 3 places and a broken leg. She suffered some serious injuries. Yeah. Now, she says the fact that her 2-year-old son could start the SUV and put it in drive and accelerate faster than any adult could open a child-proof bottle, she claims that's a design flaw. It's pretty interesting. Now, let's get the Tesla reaction, okay? Here's what Tesla says. We have not found any other instances in which this sequence of events has occurred. An unsupervised child manages to successfully shift the vehicle into gear and then apply the accelerating pedal. We do not believe this is a reasonable, foreseeable thing. So I'm just wondering, does this seem like a reasonable thing that a 2-year-old could do?
I mean, it does. It is very interesting that a 2-year-old would know enough to open the door and be able to put it in drive. And let's not forget a 2-year-old reaching the pedals,
sure.
Right? But here's what we're not hearing in this story is that the mother had gotten home from the grocery store, took the child out, the 2-year-old, to change the diaper. In the process, the kid squirmed away from her. She let the kid get out the door, then get into the car. So it begs the question more than is it a design flaw, really?
Right.
Was this child just not properly supervised?
Maybe it was a parent design flaw.
Well, it kind of sounds like, I mean,
yeah.
I could understand the argument that she's trying to make. A child shouldn't be able to do this with any vehicle, Tesla or otherwise. But if you're not moving quickly enough, 2-year-olds can zip, right? If you're not moving quickly enough, they're gonna find some trouble to get into. That's why they call it the terrible twos.
I've never driven that vehicle, so I don't know exactly how it starts, but I'm guessing it's some kind of push start, being an electric vehicle.
Probably. I mean,
yeah.
Mine's not an electric vehicle; it's a push start. So
right.
I mean, that's kind of the way that these vehicles have been going.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's probably easy to start.
No more keys. But I would think a 2-year-old, maybe not a 2-year-old, but a 5 or 6-year-old, would have a pretty good concept of how to start a vehicle.
Right.
Maybe.
But then you also have to on what I mean. I would imagine every vehicle. If you want to put it into drive, you can't just pull the shift, right? You have to apply the brake first.
It's true.
Right? So how did the child reach this? How did the child know how to do all of this?
Well, listen, Tesla's not buying it at all. You could just tell in their own statement. We have not found any other instances where this sequence of events has occurred. In fact, they don't see it foreseeable at all. And you like the way they throw that in there. An unsupervised child managed to successfully shift the vehicle. That was a message from a lawyer saying, hey, you're not going to win this case.
I think that's an important point to make.
It
on
is.
Tesla's part. Hey, by the way, where were you when
Yeah.
your child was crawling into your car?
It's pretty
and
interesting.
pinned you to the wall.
I do like the Teslas. I think they look cool. I think they are the coolest of that field of cars.
Cool.
I don't like the idea of having to install thousands of dollars worth of equipment in my home to charge it. I don't like that idea.
No, but they can be pretty slick cars.
Yeah.
I had one take me home from the airport one time when I'd flown
really?
in late at night.
The SUV or just another Tesla?
The SUV.
Oh, okay.
And it was
Nice?
It was very nice. It was I've never ridden in something so quiet.
Quiet.
It was unbelievable. And the acoustics were such, I couldn't even hear the road noise outside.
Wow.
Much less the engine noise or the electricity or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a car man, but I mean,
I've heard of some people adding sound to their vehicle.
Well, it was almost too quiet.
A speaker.
It was almost too quiet. Yeah.
That you could pick a sound for your car. I'd like to pick something that doesn't sound like the car to be my car's sound, like a muscle car from the 70s.
Or just like a pack of horses galloping.
Right, a pack of horses galloping. There you go.
We're taking it back to the Old West.
Listen, over the past couple of years, we've heard a lot of stories about brick and mortar shutting down. Just can't compete with the online shoppers of the world. Well, there's a Wall Street Journal story today. The death of brick and mortar stores has been greatly exaggerated. We could name several stores that have Toys R Us, many others that have shut down because of competition. Well, here's what the Wall Street Journal says. They say what's actually happening is more of an industry transformation, as vast majority of sales continue to be made on sites as opposed to online, especially for groceries, healthcare products, and cars. That's what people need to realize is kids are still buying toys. They're just not buying it from Toys R Us.
Right.
So it's just an industry shift. It's not that people don't want these products. We want them ever more than ever. With e-commerce giant Amazon and others even slated to open as many as 850 stores next year, over the next few years. Wow. Amazon came along, they knocked a few businesses out of business, and now they're going into the businesses that they dominated.
It's very smart.
Sure.
And certainly, business could be described as survival of the fittest. That's certainly quite fit.
Well, here's how some of the experts are saying all that can be really said is that the retail is evolving to accommodate new customer behavior.
That makes sense.
Sure.
I mean, we do so much online, but to say that it's completely eradicating brick and mortars, I don't think would ever be accurate.
No.
I mean, Amazon Prime.
Not all brick and mortar.
No. Oh, well, but I mean, they're saying that it certainly helped decline the brick and mortar.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But the people are always going to need a store to go to if it's 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you don't want to wait 3 hours for Amazon Prime to deliver something to you that same night. Well, rush down there.
Lauren Thomas on Twitter. Here's what she had to say, and I posted this on my LinkedIn page as well at Todd Jeffries. She's a reporter, a business reporter for CNBC. Canada Goose, Abercrombie & Fitch, they are both on pace to lose 25% of their market caps today. Their sour earnings report this morning is sending retail stocks ranging from Lululemon to American Eagle to Gap into the red. And she goes on to say, here's what's affecting business. 25% tariffs that go into effect on clothing imported from China. Still very troublesome for investors. That's what she says is the biggest obstacle right now for retail.
Well, but I mean, it sounds to me like this has been a problem that they've been watching for years.
Sure.
So you want to bring up the tariffs issue, but that's fairly new news.
That is brand new.
Right?
That is brand
So
new.
I couldn't think you could hang it all on that.
It may be affecting business for the past couple of months.
Now,
today.
Yeah.
But a year ago, no, it was Amazon that was running mom and pop out of town.
Right. So if we were still seeing the decline then, I'm not sure that's the best argument you can make.
Remember the old stories about Walmart coming to town and shutting down Gibson's, shutting down the mom and pop sporting goods stores?
Yeah.
Amazon makes Walmart look like Gandhi in the scheme of things. I mean, seriously, I met a guy that was he owns several franchises, Sport Clips and some fast food chains. And he told me one time, if you want to get into a business, find a business that Amazon can't take from you. That's a pretty interesting concept.
That's an interesting, I think, rather smart way to look at it.
Sure. It's a safe way. Safe way to look
because
at it.
Amazon does have a lot of muscle to flex, and they certainly have no problem doing that.
Absolutely. Also, this morning, we often talk about privacy, how we say we're concerned about our privacy. We want to protect our identity. But that's really all we do, is we say we're concerned about our privacy. We really don't do anything about it. And here's one example. This is in the Washington Post. They interviewed a privacy expert. And apparently, a Washington Post privacy experiment with monitoring software found that 5,400 hidden app trackers operating on an ordinary iPhone over the course of just 1 week. This is kind of what does your iPhone do while you're sleeping? What is your iPhone is very busy at night. A range of trackers sharing personal details such as your email addresses, your locations of where you've been throughout the day, all being sent to third parties, particularly overnight. It is said that they're creating a trove of personal data for marketing and political messaging. That's the main goal. Now, while some apps require trackers to function properly, this experiment raises a few concerns about the transparent use of consumer data. A lot of folks have devices on their phone. Your Google Maps, there's several running apps that constantly track where you are. And if you don't turn it off, then it's going to continue tracking you and delivering personal information where you are. But is this new?
Well,
this is not new. We knew this.
This is my first thought of this is, and we
Right.
like we didn't know this already.
What?
You know, I mean, it has been widely publicized that we are being tracked everywhere we go, and the easiest way to do that is by the computer that we keep in our pockets every day. So this is absolutely no surprise to me. And you're right though. There are a lot of people who they don't pay attention to privacy.
Right.
They think, well, my Facebook profile is private, so nobody could see this. Well, meantime, that's just not true.
It's just not
true.
true.
And they may say they're worried about privacy, but actions and the things that are posted online by people, well, they clearly
Do you have a
different
problem
story.
with this? Do you have a problem with this information being sent to these third-party marketers?
I do.
Basically, let me explain what they're doing. They're gathering information on you so that they can send advertising to you that you would be interested in. Not the stuff you're not interested in, the stuff that you may be interested in based on the data. So therefore, you would see the things that you like to see if it's used the right way. Right. If it's used in an honest, open way, that's what the information is for.
But therein lies the problem. You know, you could tell me all day long this is being used in an honest and open way. I'm not going to believe you.
People get greedy. People get greedy.
Yeah. Human nature, the nature of business, the nature of whatever beast.
Yeah.
I mean, there is always going to be someone who wants to use what they know about you.
Sure.
For their own gain or in a way that you won't approve of.
Yeah.
No, so while, yes, I understand why they do this, and it's certainly a savvy way to market to people, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Simply because I don't want you to know about me.
Well, if you don't like it and it's something you're concerned about, you can always delete those apps.
Yep. Or just get rid of the phone.
Or get rid of the phone.
Get rid of all social media.
Do you think this could hurt Apple?
I don't believe it's going to hurt Apple.
I don't think so either.
One bit.
I don't think so
I
either.
mean, I don't believe there's a storm out there Apple couldn't weather. This is small potatoes as far as I'm concerned. Most people aren't even going to hear this, or they're going to hear it's going in one out the other because they're too busy playing on their phone to begin with.
If you got some basic technology news in your brain, you know that this has been happening from the get-go.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't think that we should live in a state of ignorance and believe that this is not happening when clearly we know it is.
Well, listen, you can weigh in on all of these stories that we talked about today. What does your phone do at night while you're sleeping? Brick and mortars and the over-exaggeration of how they're fading away. And this woman that's suing after her 2-year-old son ran her over in her Tesla. You can post your comments below as we post this on social media, and you can always reach us, Todd at 590klbj.com.
Patrick at 590klbj.com.
Yeah. Don's going to be back. He's going to be okay. He was just a little under the weather today, but thank you, man. I appreciate it.
This has been great. I'm happy to fill in.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And special thanks to Texas Mutual Insurance Company. If you own a business, find Texas Mutual Insurance Company. Good people doing good things right here locally. We do appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.